Today on Drew, the one and only Oprah Winfrey.
This is because of you, Drew. You have changed my life.
We all thrive in this world through friendship.
Gayle was my calming, safe place. Makes me want to cry now thinking about it.
It all starts now.
Please welcome Drew Barrymore.
Oh my gosh! Right back at you guys. Hello, BFFs. We have a very special guest today. I'm gonna get right into it. She doesn't need an introduction. It's the one and only Oprah Winfrey.
Hey, hey, hey. Hi.
This is the loudest we've been since we started in August. Just us in a very big room, kind of starting in an unprecedented time. Welcome to the show. Dare I say, maybe you've seen it?
Yes, I have, and may I say, dare I say, seeing it actually changed my life. You have changed my life. You certainly changed my work life because I was there for that very first show where you beamed in Cameron and there you all were, and we were, didn't know that you all weren't in the same space. I watched that and I said, hey, why can't we do what Drew did? And since then, why can't we do what Drew did? And since that time, for Oprah Conversations for Apple TV, the first time I did it was with President Barack Obama talking about his book, Promised Land. And there we were sitting right across from each other in my living room in front of the fireplace. And I said then, this is because of you, Drew. So thank you, pioneer woman.
I have to thank you so much because you didn't need to give us the credit, but you did. And for those who are not aware, here's a little taped piece on the technology of which Oprah and I are talking about. When we launched this show in the middle of a pandemic, we had to get creative. With the magic of technology, we came up with a way to transport our guests from our LA studio right here to New York. How cool is that? We knew one person who thought so too. It's Oprah! It's Oprah! It's Oprah! Oprah approves! Oprah likey! Yes, the Oprah was inspired to use a similar green screen technology to interview guests like President Barack Obama. Listen, we may not be able to be in the same room, but we can sure feel like it and look like it. I thank you so much because I'm going to be really honest. I haven't really admitted this out loud, but it was really scary for me to be, a girl, a woman, I don't know what I am, a female, asking for people to take this risk and spend this money and ask ourselves these questions. And I'm so grateful to my bosses that they allowed us to do this because this was, a check and a risk away from not happening. And I want to ask you, is this where we're going? The water's out of the bottle. People are not going to travel the way they used to. People have gotten comfortable with interview styles. Some are going to show up, some aren't. You're going to have access to more people than you ever did in some ways because of the technology. It's all going to be maybe a mixed bag. And if it is, don't we have to make it the best and most compelling television in honor of the audience?
Yeah, I 1000% agree with that. And I think that's why I say you literally have changed my life. And when people say that, I say, because listen, after Drew, I'm not going nowhere. And so the truth is, you're able to have better access. And I think there will certainly be times in both of our lives and in our careers when being directly in front of the person makes a world of difference and may be necessary. But I think that in terms of having access to anybody in the world at any time, what you all did in that first show lit the path for changing it forever. And I'm sure we would have done it today, but I'm where there's no studio. So I'm like in the middle of nowhere out here. You need a studio to be able to do it.
You really do.
If there was a studio within 500 miles, I would have done it.
I'm so glad. And may we do it again in the future, because I was so glad to see you embracing this, you acknowledging us, and us moving forward in this way, because it does become a new normal. And for the girl who felt really, honestly, again, this is the part I don't talk about, is when you're fighting for things in business, it's not comfortable, especially when they're not done. You feel like the messy one, you feel like the one who might be spending people's money in an improper way. You don't know if the risk is gonna pay off, but you get into your convictions and you fight for them. And so when I saw you embracing the technology, it told that person who hung up the phone that day, because I remember saying, listen, you guys, we have got to do this. We have got to find a new way for our future of television. This is not funny. We are in a really unprecedented time, and we can't go on with the home show forever. We just can't.
You did the thing that I had to do 1,000 times over the years. And when I first started, so let me applaud you for doing the thing that every person, particularly every woman, needs to learn as soon as possible. Your gut is right for you. So when you feel something in your gut and you think, wow, I need to really move on that, that means it is right for you. It doesn't mean that it is right for everybody else. And I think it takes women in particularly a long, long time to be affirmed in their own beliefs. And that is the reason, actually, we were the #1 talk show for 25 years, is because it always came back to, what do I feel? What do I feel is my real intention in doing this? And I cannot do it if it's not true to me, even if everybody else says. And many times, Drew, producers would come in with ideas, and I would say, I can't do that. I don't know how I can sit in that chair and keep a straight face and do that and do that. I'm not going to be able to do that. So I applaud you for going with your gut, because your gut is always right for you.
Well, I think you've given so much courage to everyone, especially women, to fight for what we believe in. And I was going to ask you if you had any advice. May I ask, when you ended your first season and you knew you were rounding the corner into season 2, what were you telling yourself?
I actually was telling myself, self, you was right. Because as most people don't know this now, but when we launched in 1986, I had been a local talk show in Chicago for 2 years. What I understood was that there's a commonality in our human experience, and that people are no different in Chicago than they are in New York, than they are in Idaho, than they are in Rhode Island, when it comes to the core. Now we're in, everybody's so divided about their politics and their beliefs and so forth. But I still do believe at the core, we are all the same. If you ask blue states, red states, purple states, what really matters to you, the answer is the same. People care about their families. They care about being able to live decent lives. They care about being able to do that in comfort and do that with a sense of peace. And I still think, in spite of all the craziness, in spite of all the divisions, which is what everybody talks about all the time, is that we are more alike than we are different, which is a very famous Maya Angelou line. She used to say that all the time. And in our humanness, we all are just seeking the same things. And that's what this platform, the Drew Barrymore Show offers every day, is a chance for those of us of like-mindedness, those of us who are seeking the joy, who wants to wear some bows,
I went extra jaunty for you. I was like, bows and flowers, it's Oprah. Like, I'm surprised I don't have bells on and like a boa. When we come back, even more with Oprah. Don't go anywhere.
What I realized is that Gayle was my regulation. Makes me want to cry now thinking about it. And is still the person in my life. I have probably 3 people in my life who are going to tell me the truth no matter what. Here's the bottom line. That really was the hugest epiphany for me.
Welcome back. We are here with Oprah Winfrey.
I'm doing Drew. I'm doing Drew right now.
Hi, Gayle.
Can you hear Drew?
I can see her.
Yeah, she's saying hi. She's saying hi, Gayle.
I just want to say, I think the 3 of us should get together. You know, I think that would be so much fun.
Yes, when this pandemic is over, let's make sure that happens, Drew. All right, Gayle, I'll talk to you later. Bye.
You know, we all, I think, thrive in this world through friendship. You know, a lot of, children and marriages, the friends were there at the beginning. They'll be there till the end. They're these sort of lifelong relationships. It's different than blood family. It's choice, but it feels as intimate and loyal. And your friendship with Gayle has been something that, we all aspired to because we want that kind of friendship in our life. And by the way, you now have Oprah Daily, which I happened to mention to Gayle, that I thought that the Oprah Daily, the daily word, it's so brilliant.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I actually came up with that because I wanted it to be, what I realized is that the Oprah Show was a habit, just like the Drew Barrymore Show. People are creating a habit around that. And that's what you want. That's your core viewer. That's who you're speaking to every day. And the idea of having a daily inspiration point, a daily quote, a daily something that you can rely on to give you just a little lift. My whole goal throughout my life, even before I could articulate it, is how do you bring a light into people's lives? How do you let them see the best of themselves? How do you allow them to grow into becoming more of who they are, which is what every one of us is actually aspiring to do, whether you can articulate that for yourself or not. You just want to become more solid. You want to have the ability to have the fullest expression of yourself as a human being. And you do that by habits, by rituals, by creating a space where you can give back to yourself in a way that allows you to flourish. So we are growing it into what I know will be in the future is a daily spot of inspiration for everybody. So thank you for mentioning that.
We need you on the daily. I listened to your Sirius XM channel through both my pregnancies, and it was my daily North Star. It was my daily fix.
Thank you for that.
It's true. I'll never forget the story you told about Gayle getting the water for the traffic cop and how that moment was her being such an important and good parent to her son because she was showing him the kind of person to be. And that gave me hope because I felt so lost. Like, what blueprint do I have to pull on to become a parent? I was scared out of my mind. And I thought, hearing that story, if I can be an example to my kids, maybe I don't have to draw from my past or even fight it. I can try to be myself, and that can give me hope to be a good parent. That story literally changed my life. It was, so thank you for that.
Well, Gayle is to date, and she always says, well, all parents do that. All parents say, no, they don't. Gayle is to date the best model parent I have ever seen. I've never seen anybody who was more engaged, more respectful of her children. And when she first had kids, because we were best friends and met at a television station in Baltimore, and once she married and had kids, I thought, well, there's going to be distance in our relationship because she's not going to have time to, devote to our friendship. And that did not happen. But what did happen, every time she was on the phone with me and one of her children entered the room, she would stop, she would put the phone down. Even if she didn't put the phone down, they would be acknowledged She was present there for them. She would say, Mommy's on the phone now with Annie O. And morning, Bear. She calls Kirby Bear. Morning. There was an acknowledgement and what I would have to say over the years of mutual respect. And I know we're going to be talking later about the subject of what happened to you. But one of the things that Dr. Perry says in this book is that when children grow up and they realize that they are not getting the respect that they deserve from their parents, it changes who they are. What your kids want, and this is actually true of everybody, they want to know that you're here, that you see me and you hear me, and that I matter to you. And that is true for everybody else in your life too.
We're gonna get even more personal with Oprah. Stay right here. We are back with the one and only Oprah Winfrey. Speaking of this extraordinary book that I've been reading, and I will forever have the chart that Dr. Perry put in the book as far as
the upside down triangle?
The upside down triangle. What you guys talk about as far as the impression that children are left with at such an earlier age than I think was spoken about in at least my growing up. I think even into almost having kids, I feel like everybody kind of went, they won't notice when they're young. And I did not understand why that was the notion. It didn't seem right, it didn't feel right, but I wanted to believe it because that's what so many people had said.
Here's the bottom line. That really was the hugest epiphany for me. All these years, I've done multiple shows where people say exactly what you just said, Drew. Oh, they won't remember. I'm in an abusive relationship. And as soon as, when the kids are young, when they get older, I'm going to move. I'm going to get out of the relationship. The most damage is done from 0 to 2 months, because that's the time when the brain is taking in everything. And anybody who's ever had children, you all know this because you get to watch that whole language socialization process. How do they learn the word dada? How do they learn mama? How do they learn spoon? How do they learn? So as they're taking in all of that, when the brain is the most open and receptive, they're also taking in all the other stuff. That changed everything for me in terms of how people are raising their kids and how we see that what you do in front of the youngest children matters.
I have a question, which is that when I was born, my dad, he had split with my mom. And I just didn't know him. He was very abusive. He would come around, he would trash the house. He was scary. There are a lot of people, and you share a story of what happened the first night that you stayed with your mom in Milwaukee. And for people who have had a parent, one or two, that did not want to be in their child's lives for whatever their reasons were, which is valid to them, very hard for a child to understand. What do you talk through with yourself or other people who have had that kind of start to their lives, who deal with that kind of trauma? You talk about the eyes and the being wanted and the being set up right. What happens when you're not?
So here's the good news about all of this, because all of us have had things that happen to us in our lives that caused us to feel unwanted and not important. Everybody has at some point in your life, even if you come from the best of circumstances. It is possible to take your post-traumatic pain and turn that into post-traumatic power and post-traumatic wisdom. I know this for sure, that whatever has happened to you can also be for you if you allow it to be. The thing that has healed me the most is taking the pain that I endured, suffered, survived as a child, and turning that inside out So that is why I created my school, specifically looking for girls who were just like me, who came from poor backgrounds, who came from dysfunctional backgrounds, who many times felt unwanted, unloved. How do I create an environment for them? How do I give back? This is how you save yourself. How do I give back that which I was not given? And when you can do that, you begin to fill the hole inside yourself. That giving back has become really what my legacy is. And I will share this with you, that I was sitting with Maya Angelou after I'd come back from the opening of my school. And I said, oh, this is going to be the school. This is going to be my greatest legacy. I mean, these girls, this is what my life was for. And she said, you have no idea what your legacy will be. And I said, oh, no, Maya, you should have been there. I'm telling you, it's going to be the school. And she said, I said, you have no idea what your legacy will be. Your legacy is every life you touch. Your legacy isn't your name on a school or any other building. Your legacy is every life you touch. So I say this to you, Drew Barrymore. Your legacy, this is what Maya said to me. Everybody who's ever watched a show and decided, I'm going to go back to school, I'm going to go on a diet, I'm going to treat myself better, I'm going to leave an abusive relationship. Every life that you have touched that has experienced your voice and the power of your platform, that is your legacy.
And that is why in Oprah we trust. And I just want to say also that you said, here's the good news. That, to me, is one of the most positive and powerful ways in which to engage people's minds and hearts, because it is so hopeful. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to continue this conversation. The co-author of What Happened to You, Dr. Bruce Perry, will be with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We are here with Oprah Winfrey, and joining us is one of the leading authorities on brain trauma and the founder of the Child Trauma Academy. He is the co-author of What Happened to You. It's Dr. Bruce Perry. Hello, Dr. Perry.
Hi, Drew. Hi, Oprah.
Hey, Dr. Perry, good to see you again.
I was listening, and I have to say, isn't that OW something? Unbelievable.
Yes. Well, I think that the fact that you teamed up speaks volumes to and about each of you. And Dr. Perry, you've been an expert on childhood development and the impacts of trauma on our brain for the past 30 years. And they say that there's like a misconception that trauma is this big, unwelcome, tragic event in our lives. But do you think that it has to be big, or can it be moments throughout?
Everybody has a journey. And on that journey, there's just no way that you're going to get through that unscathed. So, and as you say, it doesn't always have to be this big catastrophic disaster that everybody would point to and go, oh, that's trauma.
Yes, exactly.
More often it's smaller things, right? I mean, it's the things in Oprah, and I've talked about this a lot, and we talk about this in the book, but one of the most important things about being a human being is feeling like you belong. Like you belong in your family, you belong in your community, you belong in your culture. And if you get signals from your parents, or you get signals from your classmates that you don't belong, and those signals might come from something like their implicit bias, that you're the wrong religion, or you're the wrong skin color, or you have the wrong ethnicity. And if you get these nonstop little stressors that you have no control over time, that changes the systems in your body that control stress. And it can really have profound impact on your mental health and on your physical health.
And when it comes to the brain, can we rebuild what wasn't there? Can we regulate, relate, and reason?
Yeah, well, the good news is that the brain is changeable. And if given opportunities with sufficient repetition, these systems in our brain that have been impacted by our past experiences, they can begin to normalize and become more typically regulated, and ultimately you can heal.
Oprah said something about how there is good news, and we can take the holes that have been given and bestowed upon us in our life and make them our strength, make them the cues in which how we treat other people. Has there been a point, Oprah, in your life where somebody else had to fill those holes?
I think for me, those were teachers. I wouldn't be who I am. That is why I have such a love for teachers. I mean, if somebody tells me a teacher, I literally start like, oh, you're a teacher. Because in my life, teachers were my saviors. When I went to school, I was important. And that is where my sense of self and worthiness came from, not from my family, but from other people. And so Bruce said, and this is true of all of us, nobody makes it out here alone. And our connectedness to other people, our relationships with people who can see us, all you need is one person who fully sees you and believes. And that's the thing that you hold on to, that you are seen, you are valued, and that you matter. And what I realized, I didn't even share this with you, Dr. Perry, what I realized is that Gayle was my regulation. Makes me want to cry now thinking about it. Every night after the show, I would come home and I would have these, sessions with Gayle where we talked about what happened on the show or didn't happen on the show. And that was the way I kind of regulated myself. So I would talk to Gayle before bed, and then I would be calmer. And it wasn't until I not only was co-authoring the book, but actually went back and reread the book that I realized, oh, Gayle was what I used for my sense of regulation and is still the person in my life. I have probably 3 people in my life who are going to tell me the truth no matter what.
I thank you both so much for your time. And I love this book so very much. What Happened to You by Oprah Winfrey and Dr. Bruce Perry is out now, available everywhere books are sold. And each one of our VFFs will be receiving a copy of this book.
I want to just say that Dr. Perry and I have been for the past 2 years, along with Prince Harry and Apple, we've been working on this mental health series that's coming out in May on Apple. And, what our mental well-being, our mental health, being able to rise to the best of yourself is a part of my goal in life. And now as I, get to spend my days doing exactly what I want to do. I mean, I still continue to be the kind of person who wants to use my life in order to help other people have the best of theirs, because I think I have just the best life ever. And I think that comes from doing the work, peeling back the layers, and that certainly begins with looking at what happened to you. So thank you for an opportunity to talk about it and to share it with other people.
Thank you. And look at the conversation you had with Meghan and Prince Harry. I believe that will change the world and it will change the future. So with each conversation, may you make history as well.
Well, thank you.
Changing the future. Thanks to Oprah and Dr. Perry. And if you'd like to attend Oprah and Dr. Perry's virtual book tour, visit our website at thedrewbarrymoreshow.com for all the information you need. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. We'll be right back.
This was fun. Yay.
Welcome back. Our next guest is a James Beard Award winner, co-host of Netflix's The Chef Show, and author of one of my favorite cookbooks ever, LA Sun, My Life, My City, My Food. He is the chef and founder of Koji Barbecue, the godfather of the food truck movement, someone who is an incredible philanthropist and really shows what's possible in the culinary world as far as taking care of people. As a girl who grew up in Los Angeles, this man has my heart. He always had, he always will. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to have a bucket list moment because it's Roy Choi.
Hey, Drew.
You are one of my favorite chefs on this planet.
I'm actually melting over here. Thank you.
You deserve to be. I've been such a fan of yours for years. Okay, I'm so excited. By the way, I'm going to show a picture. This is my kitchen, by the way. This is some of my cookbook collection. Your cookbook, LA Sun.
Hey.
And these are all your sauces. And I have to say, Roy Choi, you've done it once again. They were the best sauces I've ever had in my life. And funny enough, I combined 2 in the dish because I was slurping it up and they all started to run together. First they were neatly in their corners, and as I grazed, it all coagulated. I'm salivating.
That's so awesome. That's exactly, I mean, you did exactly what I wanted folks to do with these sauces, because we created these sauces to be almost like crayons. You know, like you could do anything you want with them. They're really easy. You just pour them together. You make your own sauce out of the sauces. And that was the whole idea behind everything. And I'll show you how easy it is. So the first one is the Korean barbecue marinade. So for you as a cook, all you gotta do is pour it over. You just pour it over and mix it. So I think you already have some cooking over there. I had some going already, but I want to show you. So this is I just poured this over right now. And then this is after a couple hours right here. And you see how it's broken down. And then what we want to do is just put that right on the griddle. But yeah, so you just want to grill this up. And then as it's grilling, you want to add these onions and cilantro. So this is just chopped onions, chopped cilantro, lime juice, and a little bit of salt.
Oh my gosh, this smells so
You want
good.
to put that in there? Great, right? Doesn't it smell amazing?
Perfect, I'm right there with you.
And then so now we're gonna let that kind of do its thing. And we're gonna move over and we're gonna start our quesadilla here.
Okay.
Put the quesadilla on the griddle or the pan, and then go ahead and layer your cheese over the top. We're gonna do a nice generous layer. You know, I like food messy.
Thank God.
And it's okay to go around the edges. Almost I encourage going outside the lines, you know, here, and just letting it kind of like fall off the edges. So you got to keep an eye on your tortilla. What we're looking for here is obviously you want the cheese to melt, but what we want on the bottom here, we want to create these blisters within the tortilla. And then now what we're going to do, take that cooked meat and let's go over one side of it, kind of like a half moon. And then now once you do that, we're going to flip it over. And then once you flip it, give it a nice press. We're gonna flip it. Woo, look at you. Every time you flip it, I want you to give it a little press. Give it a little love press. Like that. Yeah.
I'm spanking
And
mine.
again, keep pressing it. And then now we're almost ready. Let's go over to the cutting board. Look at that, sucker. Look at that. Okay, we're gonna go to the cutting board. And then at the cutting board, we're gonna cut this thing into 4 slices. So just cut right down the middle, and then cut the halves again. Oh, you're doing great. You're doing fantastic. Look at that. There you go. And just think pizza slices.
Oh my God.
And so there you go. And then what we want to do is we have our orange chili sauce.
Mm-hmm.
And just drizzle right over the top. Just drizzle over the top.
I'm going a little Jackson Pollock splatter art. I don't know why.
There you go. And then you can garnish if you'd like with some cilantro. And then that's your kogi, short rib, sweet chili quesadilla.
Now, is it okay if I taste this?
Yes. Oh,
Oh my.
thank you.
Oh my God.
Well, that's it. Look how beautiful that is. Thank you so much.
Roy Choi, you have been my hero since I was, hold on.
Yeah.
I love your food so much. Roy Choi, it is an honor and a pleasure to finally make your acquaintance. As a huge fan and an LA girl,
Oh my gosh.
thank you so much for this recipe. And to get your koji sauces, which will change your life, go to thedrewbarrymoreshow.com. Roy Choi, it is an honor. Let this be the first of many. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh my God.
I know. Welcome back. It's time for Drew's News, your good news puppy dog that always brings in that good news paper. And with me at the desk is a man who does an excellent dog impression, Ross Matthews.
Oh, hi. I think my dog impression's a little rough.
First order of business, Ross, stain claims.
Yep, we're in. This was yesterday, right?
This was yesterday, and we learned about this hashtag pink stuff, the magical tub of cleaning goop, taking over TikTok. So we have on here some crayon, some marker, and I said, listen, you gotta throw some spaghetti sauce on there because that is a real stain test for me. So I've never tried this, so I don't really know what I'm up against.
Okay, you love a stain though, more than anything. Okay, it's really working. This is very exciting.
I mean, look at my face, Rossi.
I'm looking at you. You've never been happier about anything. Look at that, it's all gone. Hello. Yeah, thank you, everybody. I know. Are you satisfied?
All right, well, I know what I'm doing with the rest of my life. Okay, we have an icon in the wings.
Okay, is this really happening? Because I heard someone was gonna be here and I can't even wrap my little head around it.
We've been asking her for a while because we're such huge fans of hers for everything she's done in her life and also the really fun world she's created on Twitter that just has everybody on the Twitter feeder.
Oh my God.
And on her highly trafficked Twitter account, she is, as we know, the big Bridgerton fan, and she has been demanding the return of the Duke. Please welcome someone we have been waiting with anticipation and having the pleasure and the honor of speaking with. Please welcome music icon, 6-time Grammy Award winner, and the queen of Twitterverse now, Dionne Warwick, the legend!
We know that you are our sister in Bridgertonhood, right? A topic near and dear to your heart is reggae John Page. GQ says the dashing Duke should be the next James Bond. I'd watch that. Someone needs to take over for Daniel Craig. He's retiring from Bond after his fourth and final 007 film, No Time to Die. And reggae is in the mix. Do you think he'd make a good one?
Honey, as far as I can say, he can do anything he wants.
I totally agree. Now, there are other names in the mix. Let's see, there's Michael B. Jordan.
Who would be great too, right? Harry Styles is in the mix. What do you think of Harry Styles?
No. Sorry.
Understood.
Well, I feel like I love the other male ideas, but I'm still voting for Reggae Jean Page. Dionne, what do you think?
Yeah, that's a pitter-patter heartbeat right there. You know what I'm saying?
I
And
do.
that has always been what James Bond represented, that sex symbol, but still suave and yeah.
Yeah, there was one other name too. I want to get your opinion on Idris Elba.
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
He's another heartthrob, you know.
I saw him once outside of the Golden Globes, and he was like, he needed his car. that's like my one Idris Elba story. He was like, I need the car. We got to get in the car.
See, that makes a good Bond. He's got somewhere to go. Got to get in the car. Got a crime to solve.
Of course, I wanted to like stop and chat with him, but I was like, he really seems like he needs to get somewhere, so I'm not gonna annoy him right now. But I was freaking out that I was next to Idris Elba. This was like, I don't know, 12 years ago.
You were rubbing elbows with
Yes, I was.
I had the pleasure of meeting him at the premiere of one of his films. I can't remember the name of the film, in fact. And I met his daughters. I met his fiance at the time. Such a charming young man. True.
I love him. Okay, next story. We are talking the latest in wedding fashion. The new bridal trend popping up on the internet is the bridal bucket hat. It's the bucket hat the 90s movie made famous, but in wedding white instead. I don't know why the 90s movies made this famous. I think Fisherman made this famous.
Yeah, it's a little like fish stick.
Dionne, I would love to get your take on this.
I don't know why any bride, especially a bride, would want to look like a fisherman. The veil is the mystery. You know, that is the mysterious part of being a bride. When nobody really sees, they anticipate that lifting of the veil to see that beautiful face.
I'm getting married soon. Do you think I should wear a veil?
No.
Understood. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna write that down for me. Okay.
Dionne, you've spread so much joy this year over Twitter, and now we're gonna get even more Dionne in a live stream concert event. Is this right?
Yes, that's right. Mother's Day, May 9th. It's gonna be a wonderful, wonderful evening. We did one for Easter, and that went over exceptionally well. We had a lot of fun. People appreciated it, and they missed the music, as I did. So Mother's Day, May 9th, Google Dionne Warwick, go to Mandolin, and we'll all spend the afternoon and the evening together.
I'll be there.
We cannot wait for that. Thank you, Dionne Warwick, for finally joining us here on the show where there's just nothing but love for you. Thank you.
Thank you, my darling. I certainly appreciate that. And you guys take good care of yourselves, please.
We love you. We'll be right back.
Bye. Thank you.
Welcome back. Before we go, I've got one quick pick from our little yellow book, and that is our list of stuff that we love and want to share with you, and we refresh it all the time. It's on our website, and today, it's all the snuggly goodness you can get at Barefoot Dreams. Now, listen, this is a family-owned business based out of Malibu, California, that makes the comfiest and coziest blankets and sleepwear and robes and apparel for kids. And I have one of these blankets, one. And my kids and I fight over it. And I have to tell you, you will never feel anything like this.
This is like a hybrid coziest blanket / like fluffiest towel you've ever felt, you know?
I don't know how they do it, but the good news is they do. And it is the perfect Mother's Day gift. But as a special gift to our amazing VFFs, guess what? You are all getting $300 to spend at Barefoot Dreams.
Hey!
And then you and your family members can fight over it. Thank you so much. Thank you for spending time with us, and we will see you very soon. Barefoot Dreams!
It's kind of chic how you have it draped on your shoulder.